problem solving, right? And if you remembered, I already explained to you what do you mean by a programming and what do you mean by a problem. I have given you some example, right? And I already clearly defined your computer system consists of what. We talk about CPU, ALU, RAM, hard disk, motherboard. There are different number system. I will be helping you that part also. I will tell you later on how. Then we define an operating system, right? And then we clearly said why you need to learn a programming. I have shared one video, probably you have watched it. If you not, again you can look at that link and you can see, right, how to install the code blocks. I already shown to you via video, and we have written one program last time on the code blocks as well as the code chef. I already said there are some mobile applications available, you can always work on that. Even turbo C++ editor you can work on, VS code you can use. We don't mind whatever the editor is just a mechanism which allows you to write the program, right? So it's not important. And if you said we said that C follows the structured programming language approach, whereas your C++ or Java is an object oriented programming language, right? And the power of the C programming language is that you can do the hardware programming very efficiently. You can do the high level programming, means you can create some applications, some games very effectively, right? And that is one of the reason why we are going for this. What you say is the C as a programming language. And I said when you want to learn some basics, very basics, right, C is really a useful language that you should look into, right? So that's how we need to go ahead. So I already said Unix operating system is written using C as a programming language, so you can understand the power of C programming language. Right now today we're gonna understand a very important structure before we start with the programming, and then I will take you to some demo, right? So I hope everything is clear to all of you. Until there is no concern, right? Everything is going smoothly. Okay, great. And voice, okay, fine, thank you. So perfect. So let me go ahead. So this is basically this diagram shows the flow chart. Actually this diagram shows the flow chart. So you may have a question here, ki what you mean by a flow chart and how to use it and how one can convert a flow chart into the program, right? So flow chart is basically you can say diagrammatical view of your logic, right? So there is something called an algorithm. Right? Algorithm is actually a step-by-step procedure to solve any problem, right? If you write down steps to solve any problem, let's say you've been given a problem to find out whether the given number is prime or not, right? एक number आपको दिया गया है and you need to decide whether that number is prime or not, and you need to write down the step, right? So maybe you can say that input the number, then the next one is you say that start dividing that number from 2 to number -1. Let's say number 13 है तो 2 से लेके you need to divide up to 12, right? And if it is not divisible by any number between 2 to 12, that means number less than 1, then you can take a conclusion that the number is prime. Otherwise you will conclude that the number is not prime. So when you write down the steps like 1 2 3 4, those steps are actually an algorithm. And if you try to represent that algorithm in a pictorial form, in a diagrammatic form, then it becomes the flow chart. I hope I am able to clearly define you what I mean by a flow chart. So when you try to convert an algorithm is steps to solve any problem. If you try to convert it into diagram, what you are getting is called the flow chart. Now flow chart has some standard notations. For example, in order to indicate the start of the flow chart, we are using a circle. Inside that we are writing a start. Again, to indicate the end of the flow chart, we are using a stop, right? Like this. So this is, you can see these are some standard symbol, right? This symbol, rounded rectangle is actually used to get some input value. So you are saying that read the value of n, right? I'm just trying to explain you the diagram symbols. I'm not going in the logic now. So start, read n. So you are reading the value of n. Then this square rectangles allow you to write some statements. some expression. So for example, here the expression or the statement is you are assigning a value 1 to I, you are assigning a value 1 to X, and this is the diamond, right? Diamond is used to make a branch, or it's basically used to make a decision, right? Suppose your parents said that if you get this much percentage in this standard, we will bring you a new bike. So that's a condition, right? So conditional decision making. So when you want to represent a decision making, it could be represented like this diamond. So here we are making a decision whether I is less than n or not. So there are two possible answers, as you said, no or yes, right? If it is no, you are coming here, you are printing X, and if says that I is less than n, what you are doing is you are incrementing the value of I by 1. So you are doing I is equal to I plus 1. So मान लीजिए I यहाँ 2 था तो यहाँ 3 हो जाएगा. Then you are doing multiplication of X with I, and then you are storing into X, and then you are going back. You are repeating. You keep repeating this until this conditions become no. और जब भी ये नो हो जाएगा, you will come out and you will print, right? So this is basically a flow chart. Hello, right? So algorithm is a steps to solve any problem. So for example, problem could be anything. See, please understand like this. For example, let's say right now, let's say you are in Ahmedabad. For example, you are in Ahmedabad, and let's say you want to travel to Delhi, right? Ahmedabad to Delhi आपको जाना है. You want to travel from Ahmedabad to Delhi. So what are the steps? Step number 1 is do inquiry, right? Inquiry किसके साथ? Maybe train, bus, flight, right? Do inquiry. Then as per your budget, you need to confirm कि you are traveling via this. Then reach to that place, right? As per their timing, reach to that place as per their timing, travel and then reach. So these are the steps to solve any problem. It could be very simple like this, or it could be difficult like anything. Hello, right? So you understand, algorithm is a step-by-step procedures. If you convert that algorithm into diagrammatic view, what you are getting is called a flow chart. In the flow chart, we are using some standard symbol, like as I said, in order to indicate something like start and something like stop. What you are using is the circle. To get some values, to get some input, you are using rounded rectangles. This rectangle is used to write a statement or expression like this. Diamond is used to make the decision making. Again, you are writing an expression or statement in the rectangle, expression or statement in rectangle, expression or statement in a rectangle. And this arrow indicates the flow, right? So here you are going back. So this is actually get repeated. This portion of the program get repeated, right? Until this condition is yes. जब ये no होगा, when it becomes no, then and then you will come out, right? This is what you mean by the flow chart. I hope you are able to understand this flow chart. Now what I want to do today is, in the today's session, we want to convert this flow chart into a program. Right, we want to convert this flow chart into a program. So first we will try to make a pseudocode without worrying about the language. We will try to understand what actually this program is doing, and then we will try to write a C program for this, and we will try to understand what are the different keywords, what are the different grammar rules, what are the different syntax rules we have to apply in order to write this program. Right, finally our objective is to reach to this program. Maybe today we are not able to finish this program, let's say, because there are so many things are remaining, but in between I keep you teaching each component that is required in order to write the program, right? So let me clear a few things. The first thing is you want to start, right? So let's say if I talk about C programming language, our C program always start with a function called main. It always start with a function called main. So starting point is main. Then you want to read the value of n. That means user has to enter the value of n from the keyboard. Keyboard से value आएगा, right, n का, and then that n value has to be read into the program. And then what you are doing is you are taking two values, like one value you are storing into I and another value you are storing into X. So I you are making 1, X you are making 1. Now the question that you have over here is, what is I, what is X, what is N? That is the question number 1. What is I, what is X, and what is N? The second thing is, when we are writing this I equal to I plus, second thing is you have to make a decision like this. So like in a flow chart, as I said, we need to understand how read n get converted into a programming statement, how this I equal to 1, x equal to 1 get converted into programming statement, how this diamond get converted into programming statement. So for example, in order to make a branching, there are some decision making given in the C programming, like if, switch, those are the things which has been given, if else, right? So we're gonna use that. Then this is an expression, I is equal to I plus 1. So you can see that plus is an arithmetic operator, equal to is an assignment operator, right? They have been given name, but you already know this. I is equal to I plus 1. Now here it is x equal to x into I. Now please understand, in C programming, when you want to do multiplication, you are using star. Now you may have a question, where to bring this star? You don't require to bring it from your home, it is available on the keyboard. Star તમારા keyboard ઉપર જ છે, you don't require to bring it from your home, right? So rather than writing cross like this, suppose मुझे लिखना है कि 3 cross 2, I don't require to like 3 cross 2 like this, right? In C programming, we are writing like 3 star 2, right? So star is for a multiplication. So this is again an expression. And then print x. So again, you know, in order to do some printing, there is a statement given in C programming which is called printf, right? And in order to end the program, so you know, the main has an opening brace and it has a closing brace. So this is a bit logic. Now let me take you forward in this direction, right? I hope there is no concern or no doubt till this point. Any doubt? Okay. Yes, hello, Fanny, I will explain the program. Still I have not completed. Don't worry. This is just a starting. હજુ તો આ નંબર યા પડી રહ્યા છે. હા ને, don't worry. Right? Till movie is not started. Right? I will ensure that you will understand everything. Don't worry. Right? Okay. Let me go ahead. Again, I am not looking at your Q&A part now for some time. See, what I said, friend, is there is a flowchart given. Still you don't know the flowchart is about what. Your objective is to understand what is flowchart. I already said algorithm is step-by-step procedure. You convert algorithm into diagram. What you are getting is a flowchart. You should know that out of this session, in order to draw flowchart, you have to use some standard symbol like start, stop, read, that is rounded rectangle, decision making, that is diamond. You should know that. Then I said, I have not explained you what this flowchart is doing, what program will be the output of this flowchart. That I have not said, and we will come back to this. We will keep revisiting this slide as and when required. Now what I am trying to say is, suppose I want to convert this flowchart into a program. The few things that you need to understand is what is n, what is I, what is x, how to do this decision making, how to reiterate, how to make this kind of loop. You know, until this condition becomes false, you have to keep repeating it. So how to implement a repeated functionality in C programming, right? So we want to understand all this stuff, right? That's what I said. Now in order to understand that, we need to do little bit step-by-step deep diving, right? And then we will try to complete this program. So once I will teach you few basic things, you are able to understand this flowchart represent what program and what could be the output and what would be the value of x and how x depends on the value of n. That gets very clear, right? So I hope I am making an idea very clear. Now let me tell you few theoretical concepts and then I will take you directly to the code blocks or a C++ editor to make a program. Right, so you know, compiler is a software which converts a program written in high level language to a low level language. I've already said, right? Compiler does the basic translation mechanism and error detection and recovery. It includes lexical, syntax and semantic analysis as a front end and code generation and optimization as a back end. Now please understand, this entire statement is one of the subject in your higher semester. Right, you will study a compiler design as a subject, so don't try to get into this now because there is an entire course available on this compiler design. I am not going into that detail right now, but this is what the compiler you need to understand is a software which converts a program written in high level language like English to a low level language which you call a machine language or a object language or whatever you call it, right? So that is an objective of the compiler, and compiler is not a hardware, compiler is a software, and how to design a compiler, that you're gonna learn in this subject. So I'm not going into the detail now. Some students might be knowing that, let's say C is a compile language, C is using compiler, Java is using interpreter, right? Or in fact Java you can say using compiler as well as interpreter, right? Similarly you can find out what Python is using, right? So basically interpreter and compiler will do the same functionality, but the way they do the functionality is different. How they differ? So like an interpreter, like a compiler, translate high level language into the low level language, same functionality as I said friends, it does the same functionality, right? It converts the high level language into the low level language only, but a compiler reads the whole source code at the once, create tokens, check, segment it, generate intermediate code, execute the whole program, and may involve many passes, right? तो पूरा program एक साथ check करेगा compiler. It does not check line by line. Suppose I have 10 lines, then whole 10 lines will be checked. Even the multiple line have an error, still it will do, right? Where in case of an interpreter reads a statement from input, convert it into an intermediate code, execute it, and then take the next statement. So it will go statement by statement. If an error occurs, an interpreter stop execution and report it, whereas compiler reads the whole program even if it encounters several error, right? This is the difference between the compiler and the interpreter. I will show you that practically, so don't worry, right? There is also something called a linker and loader. Linker is a computer program that links and merge various object files. So I will show you friends. So for example, let's say I'm writing a program. Let's say I'm writing a program and my file name is, let's say, hello.c, right? So this is called a source code. This is called a source code, right? This is called, let me make it a bit clear, just a minute. Let's say this hello.c is called actually the source code, right? This hello.c is called actually the source code. When you compile this source code in C programming, it will create a file .hello.obj. It will create a file hello.obj, and that is called an object file. That is called an object file. And when you run it, and when you actually run it, it will create an exe file. When you run it, it will create an exe file. So there is a file get generated which is called hello.exe. Hello.exe. I am saying exe for executable, right? And so it's quite possible that out of one, it's quite possible that when you write a program, you can write in a multiple source file. So let's say some function can be written in multiple files, and so as an output you can create multiple object file .o file. You can create multiple O files. Now read this. Loader is a part of operating system and is responsible for loading executable files into the memory and execute them. It calculates the size of the program and create the memory space for it. This is loader. And linker is a computer program that links and merge. This is very important. It links and merge various objects files. So मैंने बोला ना कि when you are generating many object file, those object file get merged into one, and that functionality is done by the linker. So these are the few just terms you should be aware of, otherwise it is not required, right? So now I will take you to directly to the practical part, right? But let me show you just a basic structure of a C programming. So this is how your C program looks like. You can see here it has a documentation section where you can write ki program is developed by XYZ or something like that. Then you have a link section, you have a definition section, you have a global declaration section. Here we are talking of definition section, link section, right? Then you have a main function that we already seen, and you can have some function definition here. So this is your basic structure of C program. You don't really require to remember it. You will come to know as and when we progress in the course, right? The first part I said documentation section. So what do you do that? Actually this section of comments line, which include the name of the programmer, the author, and other details like type and date on which you are written that program. So those part you can write over here in documentation section. In order to do documentation section, you can use either this double line. This is to indicate the comment in C programming, double line like this. So this is one line comment. And if you want to do multi-line comments, you can do something like this, star and then star slash. I will explain you this practically, don't worry. This is how you can do multi-line comments, and this is how you can do single line comment, right? And then second part, if you can look at the structure of the programs, link section. So in link section, we used to write like this, include studio.h, for example, right? Standard input output. Stadio का मतलब std का मतलब है standard, IO का मतलब है input, and this is output, standard input output.h. These are called header file. You just remember header file contains what functions are supposed to do. Suppose in C programming, I already said in the last session, let's say printf is a function. Printf is a function, right? You can write anything inside the printf. Printf is a function. So how printf has to work, that is defined inside this header file. Just understand that for right now. Later on, we will modify this statement. Right, we are including the stadio.h input output header file from the C library. So these header files are provided by designer of the C, right? Who has found the C? Dennis Ritchie, right? Then you can see link section. Then you can have a definition section where you can define some constant, well-known constant. For example, let's say you know pi. Pi is 3.14, right? You don't try to find out a symbol like pi over here. That is not available on the keyboard. Right, so what we are using is define is a keyword. In order to learn any language, you need to understand the keyword. So define is a keyword in C programming. The way you write hash include, you are writing hash define, and then the name of the variable pi. It's not necessary that I will write pi only, but variable name must be a meaningful name. Otherwise, I can write elephant also here. I can write elephant 3.1416. Then in my program, whenever I want to refer a value of pi, I have to write elephant. But it does not sound good. So better is you use pi like this. So P is capital, I is capital, and you are assigning a value. Important observation that you should make it here is, you are not writing equal to. Equal to नहीं लिखा है, आप देखो यहाँ पे. It is just pi and the space. So that value get assigned, right? And this hash define is a preprocessor compiler directive. This is very important. Preprocessor compiler directive, which is used to create constant. We generally use uppercase letter to create a constant, right? Generally, it's a guidance, it's a guideline only. It is up to you whether you want to follow or not. No. Comments can be written anywhere. Comments can be written at any place. I will show you that. Don't worry. I will show you that. Right? Right, define is a preprocessor directive to define a constant like pi. It's a keyword in C programming, right? Suppose I want to define some constant, for example, pi, right? Or let's say I want to define a constant like, let's say March. It has a 31 days, right? Then I can define March space 31. I said that you don't write equal to. That's it. Right? Then there is something called a global declaration section, right? So that you can see here from the previous slide. I will cover everything practically, don't worry. Just to ensure you are getting into, I am just showing you this slide. So this is what global declaration, then your main section will get started, right? And this is how your main function looks like. So now let me take you to the programming part. I hope till this point there is no doubt, no concern. Now let me move further, right? So let me take you further, guys. I'm just minimizing my screen. Just give me a minute. I'm just minimizing my PowerPoint, and I'm going on a code block, right? And let me close everything just to close all projects, and let me even close this so I can show you how to start, right? So I know you have remembered and you must have installed the code blocks. There are two options that we're gonna explore today, right? Code blocks that you already know. Another approach is, probably I will be uploading one video where you can download this Turbo C++ also. If some of you want to use this, I have already have it in my machine. So this is another option but I just want to show you few things, so let me do that. So I am doing, let's say, I will be closing it. I hope my screen is visible. Hello, just a minute, huh? My screen is visible, right? Okay. What is the main specific semicolon and why we don't use semicolon in Python? Hello. To answer that question, to use the semicolon, it is the rule of the language. So for example, have you asked a question why we have to put a line in Hindi? जब हम गुजराती में ऊपर एक लाइन नहीं लिखते हैं, इंग्लिश में ऊपर लाइन नहीं लिखते, लेकिन हिंदी में लाइन लिखते हैं, क्यों? बिकॉज दैट इज द रूल ऑफ द लैंग्वेज. सो प्लीज डोंट क्वेश्चन ऑन द रूल ऑफ द लैंग्वेज, right? That is how compiler has been designed to understand that language. Please understand, your objective out of these sessions and this course is to develop your logic. Take one programming language as a tool, and we are working on developing our logic, right? So please don't look into that, right? I will explain you. Give me some time, right? Give me some time, and then we will come back to the question. So let me go back again to my screen, right? Just a minute. So I hope you are able to see this Turbo C file screen. I am writing here new, and I am storing one, I am making one program. Let's say I am making it for save. Let's say my program name is, for example, demo1.c, right? Demo1.c, and where I am storing this program, you can see here there is a C drive. Hello, right? There is a C drive. In that there is Turbo C3. In that there is a bin. So inside the bin folder, I am storing this file, demo1.c. You can see C drive, Turbo C3, bin, and inside that demo1.c. So I am storing it. I am making it okay. Now what I will do is I am writing here like main, right? For example, before that, as I said earlier, friends, what you can do is you can write include. So you have to write include here, right? Let's say include stadio.h, standard input output .h, right? So this is what you have written. There is no semicolon here. Main, this is the rule of the game. So we don't have any question. Even in Python there are two different rules. One except without semicolon, even you can write a semicolon. It provides you some liberty, right? In Java also you need to put a semicolon. That's how the compiler has been designed to terminate the tokens, right? So that there is a main is the function, this is opening brace, this is the closing brace. Now as I said, let me write a two statement over here. For example, printf, right? I am writing here, let's say hello, right? And let's say I forgot the semicolon here, right? I am writing here printf. Let's say I am writing here how are you, right? And I am not putting a semicolon here, and I am writing here printf. Let's say I am enjoying, right? For example, these are the three statements you have written and you forgot to put the semicolon, right? So the next step is you need to compile the program. Now there are options given here, compile, run. So I can compile the program. When I compile the program, you can see that it shows me the two errors. Actually I made it three errors, but it shows me the two errors. You can see it's not compiling line by line. Please understand, and please see, lines compile is how much? 315. Why 315? Actually you can see that you written only the 5 or 6 line, but it is compiling 315 line because few lines have been compiled from this header file stadio.h, right? So that is how. Now what two errors it shows you? You can see on the line number 5 it says that the statement is missing, semicolon is missing. So compiler is showing you an error. Again it says that line number 8 this is missing, right? So actually it is not showing you exactly where the semicolon are missing, but it shows you two error because it has not found a semicolon here and here. Now if I put a semicolon here, for example, let's say if I put a semicolon here, right? And again I will compile. Still it shows the 3 error. Now you can see it shows the 3 error. What 3 error it shows, right? So first it's saying that the semicolon is missing here on the line number 5, right? And then again it's saying that the semicolon is missing, and then it's saying that this compound statement is missing. Why it is saying like this? Because you have not put the semicolon here. Once you put the semicolon here, this error goes away. Let me show you. When I put the semicolon here, the error goes away and I can compile this program. Please understand, there is no error. Can you see that errors are 0 and there is a warning one? I am not concerned about the warning, right? So error is 0. Now after compiling this program, let me take you to other place. For example, my PC, there is a C window, and that there was a Turbo C3. Inside that there was a folder called bean, and what was the file name that we have given? Demo1.c, right? The file name that we have given was the demo1.c. So let me find out that demo1.c. Can you see here demo1.c, which says the source file, right? Which says the source file. So source file is stored over here, demo1.c. I hope you are able to see, right? It shows the demo1.c source file, right? And object file also you can see here, and the exe file also you can see here. If you go to the directory and try to see, you can see all these things, right? If you try to see, for example, if I take you there, command, let me take you there. Suppose I will come out of this, right? I will go to cd turbo C3, then cd bean, right? And then if I write dir, and let me write dir/p, so page wise, right? Let me show you, just a minute, let me show you dir demo star dot star. This is the command of a DOS. So you can see one file which is demo1.c, which is called a source file, right? So that file is already there. Now let me again go back to my these things, and let me compile and run this program, guys, right? So when I run this program, right, when I run this program, you can see I can run this program by clicking here, and it shows one error. Oh, sorry, in the printf, last printf, the mistake that I made is I have written p capital. Now it does not show, right? Now let me compile it first. So I am compiling it, right? And it shows the 0 error, right? And then I make it R. Let me make it run. I'm running this program, and in order to see the output, you can see our output. Now you can see the output is been displayed on single line. Hello, there is no space. How are you? There is no space. I am enjoying. There is no space. In order to give a space, I already told you what you can do is you can put a /n here. /n will give you a new line. So after every statement end in double quotes, I can write /n. /n is used to give a new line. /n is used to give a new line. So now you can see the output. It is on the new line. Hello, how are you? Right, then hello, how are you, and I'm enjoying. But when you see this output, you should observe that it is also showing you the previous output. Suppose if I run this program again, पहले वाला output जा नहीं रहा है, देखिए, it's still there. The first output still remains. So if in order to remove that first part of the output, what you can do is you can write one function here, clear screen, CLR clear screen and semicolon. Now it won't show you the previous output, it directly show you the fresh output. It directly show you the fresh output, right? So this is all about Turbo C, using a Turbo C compiler. I hope there is no concern till now. If you have any doubt, let me know till now. So I can take you further. Alter enter. Hello, in order to maximize, you press alter enter. Okay. So you can maximize the Turbo C. Alter enter. You can maximize. Press alter enter. You can maximize. Right, boys and girls, there is no doubt till now. If you have any question, you can tell me. Otherwise, I will be going ahead in the code blocks. I want to teach you something now. related to that flowchart so that we can move slowly in the programming. There is no concern till now, right? Okay, sir, you will be using which platform to perform C language? See, my operating system is Windows 10. See, get ch, if you write, it shows the output automatically. If you don't write a get ch, you have to write, do alter F5. Suppose, let me show you that. Let me show you that. Suppose, when I execute this program, you can see I'm pressing run. I'm running this program. It does not show me the output. In order to see the output, I have to press Alt F5. ये Alt F5 आपके कीबोर्ड पे है, हाँ, घर से नहीं लेके आने हैं. Alt plus F5 एक साथ प्रेस करेंगे तो we can see the output. But if you don't want to do this and you want to hold the screen of output, what you can do is you can write a get ch. मैंने लास्ट लेक्चर में आपको एक रूल बताया था. आई सेड वन ऑफ द रूल इन द लास्ट सेशन, in C programming, anything after which you have a bracket like this is actually considered as a function. So let's say suppose somebody is asking you a question in your Viva, what is CLR SCR? It is a function. What is the role of that function? To clear the screen. I have already explained you what is function. Function is like a black box. If you open up your refrigerator is like a, you give input as a water and you get ice as an output. So that functionality is done by freezer to convert water into an ice. Similarly, CLR SCR is a function to make your screen clear. Printf is function. Anything you pass out inside this, suppose hello, GF, whatever, any meaningless statement you write, printf does not look at what you have written. It will just print it out. So printf is a function, printf is a function. Again, getch is a function. Now getch is a function to get the input value as a character. Until you press a character, it will not execute the next statement. It will not execute the next statement. So next statement is closing bracket, and until you will not come out of the closing bracket, you are in your program. So when I run this program, what will happen? You can see output. Now my cursor is waiting. You can see I am enjoying ke baad. There is a cursor and that cursor is waiting for me to press any key. Because whenever you press any key on the keyboard, that key is counted as a character. And unless you enter a character, that getch is not going ahead, so that you can see the output. Right? There is no doubt till now, right? So now I am closing it. I am making it quit out of it. I want to save it. Let's say I make it quit, and now I'm going to other place. Okay. So let me sir, which programs can we use this editor in Linux? Yes, Linux also have a lot of editor like VI, right? See, please understand, students, this is for all, huh? See, I recommend code block, right? I recommend code block, right? Okay. My suggestion to all of you is that don't get into that business, which editor is good. Anything is good. Only the thing is you start working. That's it. I have shown you the multiple option because you are many students and each one has their own choice. So I have just introduced it. Right now in every class I'm not going to use it. Right? So most of the time we are dealing with the code blocks only. Right? So now let me take you to the code blocks. Right, so I'm starting a code block. Now in a code block, what you need to do, there is a option here, create a new project. Right, so I'm creating here a new project. Which application you have to select? Anybody has remembered? Which application you have to select? You have to select the console application. So select the console application, then it will ask you to do next. Right, which language I have to select, friends? C as a programming language, right? And then it will ask you a project title. So let's say this is our second session. So let's say I'm giving a demo 2 as a project title, right? And I have to press next and then finish. right? It create on the left hand side a demo 2 project for you, right? Good, I got many answer, right? And in the sources you have to click on the main, right? I hope everybody is getting into, right? Now let me just a minute, let me make it little bit zoom. So this is already open up for you, this main file, and now you can write any program inside this, right? Now you can write any program inside this, right? So let me zoom it. I hope now it is perfectly visible for all of you, right? And there are no question. So now let me show you something very important. Our first objective of that flowchart, friend, is to understand what was n, what was x, and what was I. Right? So now please understand this include stadio.h is the header file. Standard lib is also a header file. Don't take much pain about that part. This main is the name of the function. Now any function can return some value. Some function might be returning some value, some function might not be returning the value. By default, the main function return type is integer, that is int. You are writing int. Even in some cases you can write void also. If I write a void, the meaning is that my function is not returning anything, and if I write void there, I don't require to write this return statement, right? So I can do like this also, void. And if I have written int, I have to return some value. But let's say don't get into that business right now. We will come back to that point later on as we progress in the course, right? So for example, let's say I have written void main, then I have written printf hello world. Now I don't want to get into this printf hello world business, right? For example, as I said, we want to understand what was that n, what was that x, and what was that I in our flowchart. So let's say we have been asked to do the sum of the two numbers. Sum of the two numbers. So for example, let's say what I want to do is I want to do something like this. Sum is equal to, let's say, x plus y. I want to do sum is equal to x plus y. I hope you are getting, right? This is my output. That's what I expect. And then I want to do printf. ऐसा कुछ मुझे करना है. मैं अभी सही नहीं लिख रहा हूँ, आपको समझा रहा हूँ. ऐसा मुझे कुछ करना है. जैसे x, if my x is 3, if my y is 2, then it should print out 5. That is my objective. Now in order to do that, the one thing that you need to do is you have to give some value to x. So what you do is, let's say you give value x equal to 2, you give value y is equal to 3. But as per the rule of the language, you have to put a semicolon here. As per the rule of the language, you have to put the semicolon here. Now, there is a restriction imposed by C programming. The restriction is that if you are using some variable in C programming language, you have to declare it first. Then and then you can use it, which is not the requirement in the Python. Python is a different language, so there is no requirement in Python like that. So in C programming, the rule of the game is that before you use any variable, you have to declare it. I will take your 2 minutes, don't worry. Then I will leave you. So what I need to do is, I have to declare this variable. See, x and y is called a variable. You can ask me a question, why it is called variable, why it is not constant? The reason is that you can assign the value to x. You know, x can take any value. For example, it can take 20 also. It can take 200 also. It can take 2000 also. So any value can be assigned to x, and that's the reason we call it variable. So in order to use any variable in C programming, the rule of the game is that first you have to declare that variable. In order to declare the variable, you have to decide the data type of the variable. Please remember, in order to declare the variable, you have to decide the data type of the variable. There are many data types in C programming. Today we're gonna understand there is a primary data type which is called int. Primary data type, int. So it's int यानी कि the whole number, right? આપણે ગુજરાતી વાળા પૂર્ણાંક સંખ્યા જેમાં કોઈ ડેસિમલ પોઈન્ટ ન હોય, right? int, it's a full number. It's a number without any decimal point. It's not a real number, right? So int, integer, it's a short form. Int is a keyword. So you cannot ask me why int, why not inte. It's a keyword. It's a rule of the game. क्रिकेट में जैसे 11 प्लेयर से ज़्यादा नहीं हो सकते. It's the same thing. int, I have to declare variable x, y. Declare यानी we have to give a name to the variable. Suppose somebody in your, let's say in our society, somebody's name is Prakash. So Prakash is an identifier. When you call a Prakash, that Prakash will only come out. Not all the society member will come out. That's an ID. So X and Y is an ID variable name. So I have to declare. I have to declare it with its data type. What is my data type? INT. So after declaration, I can assign X equal to 2000, Y equal to 3. I can write sum. Now you can see here, I am also using sum. Sum is what? It is storing a sum of X and Y. So sum is also supposed to be an integer variable. So again I have to declare it. If I am not declaring it, my C compiler will tell me sum is undefined. So you have to define it. Sum as an integer. Right? And then you can write sum is equal to X plus Y. Now I want to print it sum. In order to print it, there is a rule of the game. You have to use the access modifier. Access specifier. So percentage %d is an access specifier for an integer value. This is the rule of the game. We don't have a question to ask why percentage %d. That was designed by a designer of a C programming language. So percentage %d is for an integer. I can write here anything, right? For example, I can write elephant. मैं कुछ भी लिख सकता हूँ यहाँ पे, elephant equal to, तो वैसे ही प्रिंट होगा वो, right? But actually what I should write here is, in reality what should I write is कि addition of X and Y. Then later on we will modify X and Y. Actually I want to write addition of 2003, और आप 20 कर दो तो 20 and 3 आना चाहिए. That we want to do, but later on we will do that. So let's say addition of X and Y equal to percentage %d, comma sum. So what it will do, this value of sum get printed at place of percentage %d. Wherever I have percentage %d, at that point it will print the sum. So let me compile this program, guys. Let me build and run this program. Here I have to click. You can see the output. Can you see? Addition of X and Y equal to 2003. Hello. Right now, if I change this value, for example, in place of 2000, if I make it 20, and again I will press on, let's say, build and run, you can see the output. It's a 23 here. Addition of X and Y equal to 23. Right? So what I have explained you in this session is, I have tried to explain you X and an I are the variable in that flow chart. In order to use the variable, first you have to declare the variable. In order to declare the variable, you have to define the data type of the variable. In order to define the data type of the variable, you have to decide the, you have to use the keyword, like int is the keyword, inbuilt keyword, and for integer, percentage %d is the access specifier. Similarly, there are many data types like float, character. We will keep you teaching all in coming session. If you have any doubt, let me know. I'm here to address your doubt. Hello, integer भी लिख सकते हो. Who said no? You can write integer also. You write integer. मैं बोल रहा हूँ ना कि don't get into that business right now. वहाँ पे अभी आप मत नज़र डालो. वो अभी हमने कवर नहीं किया, उसकी ज़रूरत नहीं. अगर वहाँ integer लिखा है मैंने, तो I have to write here return 0. जरूरी नहीं है 0 लिखूँ, मैं 90 भी रिटर्न कर सकता हूँ. कुछ भी इंटीजर वैल्यू आई कैन रिटर्न, राइट? देयर, आई होप आई हैव आंसर्ड योर क्वेश्चन. आई सेड दैट भौमिक include standard lib.h is actually does not required. It is unnecessary statement. I can remove it. It's unnecessary. It is standard provided by code block. Otherwise you can remove. So I put a comment there and still I can build and run that program, right? It's not required right now, standardly, right? But let's say probably it's given there, so you use it, right? But that we will teach you. For example, when we are using some mathematical function, we will include math.h because it is required, right? Suppose we are using a function called sqrt to find out a square root, we will use that. Okay. Percentage %d is an access specifier for an integer data type. अगर integer की वैल्यू मुझे रीड करनी है या राइट करनी है तो percentage %d is an access specifier. Return is a keyword to return some value. Return is a keyword to return some value. So what it will do, return 90 ये function से return होगा और वो 90 लेके जाएगा, वापस जाएगा, right? That's what you mean by return.